Hello. Today I'm going to add a hummingbird to this picture, and after I'm done painting, it will look like this. It won't be finished, but it's going to look like this. So stick with me. I'm thinking I'm going to put the hummingbird coming in. So this is a picture of a hummingbird. It's black and white. It's on just paper. And I'm going to put it coming in about there. And then I'll need to put a flower coming out over here. Makes it about... It's above half, which is good, and it's over to the side rather than in the middle. I could make it a little closer to the middle, but not quite middle. You know what I mean? I think that's gonna be good. So stay with me. So I've got a rough sketch on here of the hummingbird, and I'm gonna put in some color for her beak. It's gonna be a girl. And it's difficult to see the pencil line on here. But I'm gonna go ahead and put in the beak. I'm using a very fine tip brush. It is let me turn this way. It's a round. I'm gonna paint right out to the edge of this brush, beak. It's like a 20-0, it looks like. And I'm not pressing down. If I press down, it'll make it a whiter. It'll make it much whiter. And I don't want it to be whiter right now. I want it to stay thin. I want it to be sharp against the background. That'll help the background stay blurry. I made this black with burnt umber and ultramarine. I'm going to go right into her eye. She has a little bit of white past her eye, but right in here it's pretty much black. And that's pretty good. And this part up here is more of her skin right next to her eye. Let's get it the other way. I'll get you right back here. Oh. Let's see if we can get it the line pretty straight. Got a lot of paint on my brush. Goes right up to her eye. I'm going to thin that down just a little bit. I think it'll go right into that with another brush and thin it down. There we go. I want it to be just a little bit thinner. I have many videos on here of painting hummingbirds. I love hummingbirds, they're beautiful. They're one of the most beautiful creations God has created, and so intricate. Background's been dry for a couple days now. And I'm kind of steering towards doing oil over the top of this. Just for fun. Not today. But it will be fun. We're gonna have fun today. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, I'm gonna put it over the top of this to clarify that the background is completely out of focus. It is out of focus flowers. So if you notice I'm coming in from this side again, it makes a big difference which side you come in from. Another alternative you would have, if you were painting this with me, would be to back paint with the sky, but then you gotta mix up the color and make it a little lighter than what's on the canvas right now, because it'll dry darker. Make it a little thinner. I don't need a black shadow around it. I don't really want to make the sky up to put around it, so I'm going to just clean this up using a damp brush, wiping it on the tablecloth. This will clean it up for me. You always want to remember to breathe when you're painting. There we are. I'm going to make a really light gray and paint it right below her eyeball. Yeah. I'm going to need a smaller brush to get in there on the right in the corner here. I had the image of her face enlarged a little bit on the computer. And the upper part here is darker gray, so I don't need that right now. What I do need to do is get the actual shape of her little face. Putting in the white. Yeah, I'm glad you joined me. Welcome. If you're painting along with me, please leave a comment that you're painting with me. I'd love to hear it. If you're just enjoying the video, please leave a comment. Let me know you're enjoying the video. Yeah, I'm glad you're here. And the white for her little face, and it has such intricate details. And she's pretty close up on here, and for her size anyway, she's pretty close up to the viewer in this picture. All right, I need to make a darker gray for her head. And it's gonna have a little bit of green in it, not much, a little bit of green. Just sort of a suggestion of green. And brown. And then I'll paint over it with some lighter that's That's a pretty good rendition of it. She has white right next to her eye, so I'm just going to paint some of this up to it. I need to come in from that side. She's gonna need some white on it. Just cleaning it off there. Yes, I need to go into a little bit more brown. And that goes right up to her beak. I just have a little bit of white above her eye. I'll just do the white over the top of that. She also has some feathers that are coming down this way that are darker. They're sort of turning you the right way. Sort of coming down and back. There we are. Okay. I need to come in here with white, a little bit of white paint. And then the green starts coming in, brighter green. So I'm gonna add some cad yellow and green together. And we'll make the little marks of the feathers on there too in a bit. Made some gray. It's lighter than the gray I put on there before. This is looking like a good blend that it's in the picture. That color green. And then her tummy is going to be gray, so it's just underneath her wings that it's got some green. Get that started. The little feathers in the picture look like just a painting a line on there. Not so much full feather, but I know that it's just the way they are. I'm gonna come in from this side to the front. And we'll get her belly outlined. she's looking good. She's looking good. Okay, I see a little bit more of her tummy. Let's get that in. And it's got some darker colors on here too. I'll put that in. There we are. All right. I want the red to go away, so I'm just gonna move this paint that's already on here. It's still wet. And this part of her tummy's in the shadows, so I'll put some gray on there. Putting in the feathers on the little tummy. We need more shadow down here. Get some more gray. Just a little bit darker value. And her wings are darker, so I'm gonna go in the gray and get that. Just the same color I had, but a little bit more brown. And her wings are out of focus, so we did that in the last video as well. And I can see the rest of it now. I just had to turn it the right light to get it. Thin it down a little bit. And it doesn't have to be Like I said, it's not going to be in focus, so it's not a big deal if it's complete, if the line's not super sharp. There we are. I'm going to do the one in the background. I'm not worried about the inside, or I'm not concerned about the inside lines right now. I'm concerned about getting the wings in. And the top one's a little longer than the bottom one. And I don't want this to dry a hard line, so I will blur it out a little bit. It is blurry in the picture anyway. How am I going to do that? I'm going to take a round brush and pull up. It's not such a hard line. It will be painted over again too. And this part comes down a little bit. There we are. I'm going to blend it till it's no longer so in focus right now. I'm going to make it so it's less in focus. There we go. How can I do that? The background's dry. It'd be nice if the background was still wet. This would help, but I'm going to do it anyway. And I don't want it to be super in focus. But she's flying. All right, pull it down a little bit. And we'll put more layers on it too. But I need to put in the edge of this guy up here. I need to put in the other wing. As it gets up closer, it's just becoming little lines. And her little arm wing is going to have dark in the corner, like in the upper corner here. It's just going to be darker than the rest. So I'm going to pull that up with the brush and get it the right way. I don't need her wing to be blue, but I'm going to pull off some of that hard line. Make it less in focus. Might need to replace parts of it, that's okay. then I'll pull from the other side over. And again, I need to take the little brush and tap that line so it's not so sharp. Just tapping. Get those individual feathers to show. I want this line to be less hard, so I'm just going to touch it till it moves. There we go. My brush has just been dipped in water and wiped on the tablecloth. And it's the angle of her wing. That's why it looks bigger on the back part. It's just the angle. I'll pull that down too. This line's going to be a little more blurry. This guy right here, I'll just wet it down, get it a little more blurry. I don't want to remove paint. Get back up there and we'll pull that up. It's a little bit lighter than the rest of the wing. I already put gray underneath her eye. Put some of the gray on her neck. There we go. She has like little scallops of her feathers on her neck. And very tiny little scallops going all the way up to the top. It starts with this very end one. On the next row. And then this part right here is more white, light gray. Getting more gray. It almost looks like a dark line coming down her neck, but it's gray, little gray feathers. And she's got white on the other feathers here. Get that in there. Gonna paint some white feathers on her head. She's a little bejeweled. You want to use a 20-0 or a 10-0 round to do that. She is the star of the show. She is what we're looking at when we look at the painting. We can detail her out. I have a little too much paint on there, which is fine. So I can just go back in and put that back in. Each feather in its own place. I'm going to put the outside line of her body in there. She needs the rest of her body is what she needs. And her back needs to go in too. And the little gray on her face goes right up to her beak. Just some white above her eye. She's got a little bit of light on the top of her beak. I'll put that in. It's just a darker gray than what I've been using. It's lighter than what's on her beak right now. It's where the light's hitting her. And that paint, I don't know if you noticed that. It's probably hard to see. I might enlarge it on the video. But it's chalky, and that's something, a name I made up, but it's kind of a chalky look to it. And that's because it needs water or more paint on my brush. So I put more paint on my brush and come back with black. There's probably a technical term for it, but it's just your brush is dry and you're trying to paint on there, and yeah. It shows up in the paint. Come back with black, or I could just, what I could do too is take the little brush that takes off the paint and go right over this black, hoping it's going to stay there, and move that light gray I just put on there. In some parts I'll probably have to put more black on there. And get that pen. Do this line again. That bead's gonna have to be thinned down again. That's fine. Could do it. Going for the smaller brush, the smaller round that moves the paint around. I don't want to take off all the black, just enough. It's important that I look and make sure that I'm good with the way the wings look, because I'm getting close to stopping. And I want to make sure this line isn't too harsh, and I could paint over it again with the background color. I don't really want to do that. Bring this down smaller. part's fine. This one's gonna be a little bit sharper. Which just means moving that top line. It'd still be a little gray, not as dark as this lower line. Just get it to move a little bit. I don't know if you can hear me scrubbing that in, but that's the technical term. Okay, I think that's pretty good. And this one here is out of focus. Yeah, I think she's got a really good start here. I'm gonna paint in the green on her little back. She has some dark gray underneath her tail, a little bit thinner, so it doesn't have any texture. Also, she's got white feathers in her little private area. Just gonna paint those in like I see them. And then they're gonna need shadow on them as well. And today I have a Bible verse. It is 2 Corinthians 5:21. I am the righteousness of God in Christ. Painting in the little white feathers under her little tail. Then she also has, so this part here I need to thin it out. It can't have the texture that it has right now. I'm gonna thin it out a little bit. I'm so glad you joined me today. I got the hummingbird pretty much almost staged, almost ready to go. I'm gonna actually do this part really quick, just getting this in, the dark part of the wing, so it's no longer sky color. And yeah, and then she's got a little bit, almost like little white feathers that come underneath her neck here. She's got a little necklace of white feathers. Yeah, I'm glad you joined me. Please subscribe to DK Pool Chat. And, I hope you get to watch all the videos on there. On this channel, I have many videos that help you paint if you're interested in painting. This one needs a little bit of green on the side, or on the back, it needs green. And I'm thinking the next segment of this will be, well, I still need to do the light part of her wings. And then also, I need to do the light part of her wings. And then I also need to do more detail on the side of her little head. But this part here just needs to be less. I don't need to have any texture at all. I can see texture on it. There we go. I think it's a good start. So it would just be doing more on her, and then I will switch over to oil. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you in the next video. God bless you.